Welcome to StenoJunction.com. I am Ankit Parekh with experience of more than 10 years in teaching and currently working as stenographer in Government of Rajasthan. 60 words per minute, starting in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Questions of equity apart. The mode and scale of subsidizing has had two effects. One has been to induce a faster rate of growth of enrollments at this level than is otherwise likely to have taken place. In several parts of the country, the fees charged for higher education have remained unchanged for decades, and the rising costs have been almost wholly covered by the subsidies from government. Higher education has therefore become almost free for those who are in a position to meet the other related expenses. Para. The other effect has been to encourage in this sphere, particularly in the last decade, a kind of entrepreneurship with little commitment to the goals of higher education, where the rate of subsidy is high and the rest of the expenditure can be almost wholly covered by fees collected from students. A college can be started and run with very little exertion on the parts of the sponsors. In Delhi, percent of the excess expenditure of a college on all approved items over its income from fees is met by the University Grants Commission. The sponsoring body, whether it is a private agency or a local authority, needs therefore to cover only a very small fraction of the total expenditure on running a college. Naturally, there is no dearth of entrepreneurs for starting colleges with an eye on the patronage and influence they can exercise through their control over them. Para. Though the extent of subsidy is not as high elsewhere, the position is not very different in several other parts of the country, where liberal grants in aid are given by state governments to colleges. The main qualification required of the promoters of higher education under these conditions is only that they have the contacts for securing the necessary financial and other support from the powers that be, where the rate of subsidy is not so high, some adjustments are called for. These are usually made in the fees charged from students and in the teacher-student ratios maintained. Thus, the annual fee for undergraduate education ranges all the way from less than rupees 1000 per student, the colleges in Rajasthan, to well over rupees 2000 per student in Bombay. The average number of students assigned to a teacher also varies from as low as, in some areas, to more than twice that figure in others. The subsidy has to be discontinued. All this usually a decisive impact at the higher levels of decision making and administration in the universities, for both the representatives of college managements and of teachers secure representation in the various bodies of the universities, of which they form a part. Therefore, changes in the structure and content of courses are usually resisted if they call for more appointments at the college level than the managements are prepared to make, or if much more effort is required on the part of the existing staff. If any teaching is organized at the university level, as is generally done for postgraduate courses, the principle of representation has to be usually given considerable weight irrespective of academic considerations. The various sectional interests involved here to be taken into account also when examiners are appointed by universities, and sometimes even when the results of the examinations are declared. Para universities as organized now are in fact highly vulnerable to pressures of various kinds. The representation given to colleges, the system of elections to the more important decision-making bodies, and direct dependence on government grants are all potential instruments for gaining influence and exerting pressure within universities. It is not so surprising, therefore, that when teachers and students are also free to participate in